was so thick you could stir it with a stick in our friendly, peaceful town, till an evil whisper blew in like the wind to make the man in the moon to frown. It slithered in someone's back door and through the telephone lines, but when it reached the church house steps, a chill went down my spine.
Look out for the monster tongue. It preys on the old and the young. It's set on the fire of hell. When it strikes, no one can tell. It could be right behind your back to launch a sudden sneak attack.
Something wicked this way comes.
Attack of the monster tongue.
Well, besides from the usual pain, I'm doing pretty good.
Speaking of which, how is your husband lately?
Him, he is the laziest thing. I can't even get him to come to town to get my essentials. I had to get my cheese puffs myself.
That's awful. Well, hey, let me tell you what I saw a little bit a while ago.
What?
Guess who I spied on passing by the liquor lounge?
Who?
Pastor Bob.
No.
Yes. Now, what do you figure he's doing on that part of town anyway?
Well, that is a good question. Mm-hmm. Well, what were you doing there, by the way?
Well, I was just passing by. But the pastor should flee from even the appearance of evil, shouldn't he? Mm-hmm. Besides, when he saw me, he crossed the street to walk by on the other side.
Well, that is suspicious.
Yep.
Well, you know, Irma, I need to be going, so I will talk to you later, okay?
Toodaloo.
Bye. Clarence, Sally here. Is your wife nearby? Well, I just had some news for her. Well, maybe you could tell her for me. I have a prayer request. Now, mind you, this is a prayer request. This is not intended to be gossip. We need to pray for our pastor. I have it on good authority that he was just spotted coming out of the downtown liquor lounge.
Really? That's very interesting. There's no telling what he was doing on that side of town, but he surely wasn't preaching. Well, we will put him on a prayer request, and thanks for calling, Sally, and tell your husband I said hi. He is a great guy. Hey, Frank.
Hey, man.
How are you?
Doing all right?
Just the man I need to see.
Wow, what's up?
We've got a very, very threatening situation occurring in our church today.
What's up? Did John go and leave Betty to do Sunday service all by herself again?
No. It is payday, but no, that's not it.
Let's see here. Did Joe's boys put catfish in the baptismal again?
It was trout, but no, that's not it either.
Well, you better spit it out, because I don't want to keep guessing.
Well, Pastor Bob was seen today at the downtown liquor lounge with an attractive, unknown younger woman.
You got to be kidding me! And he was such a good one, too.
He was.
Man, it looks like we just can't ever keep a pastor.
Yeah, it seems like we get a good one and something like this comes up. It's like life has Alzheimer's. It keeps forgetting and repeating itself over and over and over again. And speaking of repeating yourself, do not repeat this. I had nothing to do with this being passed on.
Hey, Tom! I'm not supposed to repeat this, so I'm only going to say it once. Our pastor's an alcoholic. And he's cheating on his wife.
Look out for the monster tongue. It preys on the old and the young. It's set on the fire of hell. When it strikes, no one can tell. It could be right behind your back to launch a sudden sneak attack.
Something wicked this way comes.
Attack of the monster tongue.
I'm glad you could come over so quickly, Annie. Here, have a seat. Would you like some sweet tea?
Yes, well, thank you.
Oh, there's a chair there. Sorry.
Well, I'd like to thank you for taking me into your confidence about this.
Well, you know, as a church secretary, I figure you should know about these things.
Well, is it really true that Pastor Bob is a boozing, cocaine-addicted, wife-beaten, communistic peepee Tom?
Yes! And what's more awful, he's a liberal.
Oh, my.
Oh, excuse me, dearie. My phone's ringing off the hook. People trying to figure out what's been going on.
I can imagine.
Hello?
Hello, Irma. Gertrude here. Have I got a juicy tidbit for you?
Spill it to me, sister.
Well, you know that vicious rumor about Pastor Bob? Turns out that he was on that side of town visiting that new family that's been coming to church. But the best part is, he found out who started it, and he's going to confront them now as we speak.
What? Really?
You wouldn't happen to know who it is, would you?
Well, no. Annie, don't you answer that. Let's go.
Yeah, that tongue had a sharp and deadly edge, and it spread some vicious lies. But we used the two-edged sword of the Spirit to cut it down to size. When it saw us filled with truth and love, its monstrous head turned chicken. That day we used the word of God to give that tongue a licking.
Look out for the monster tongue. It preys on the old and the young. It's set on the fire of hell. When it strikes, no one can tell. It could be right behind your back to launch a sudden sneak attack.
Something wicked this way comes.
Attack of the monster tongue. Attack of the monster tongue.
I'm Pastor Bob, and it happened to me. It could happen to you. Is that your phone ringing? What you gonna do?